he would step across the line. Habitually, he's a habitual line stepper.
You make me happy. Thank y'all for joining us on the Habitual Line Steppers podcast. I am Garrett Charles Langley Henson.
And I am Terry. Ricardo the Shades of the Second. We finally arrived. Don't do the dirty bird, baby. We back. We back. Before we get started, though, man, of course, like we say every time, hit the subscribe button. Help us out. Leave a comment. Hit the like button.
We'll respond back. We like to talk.
Yeah.
That's why we both got microphones in a podcast. Don't fuck with your boys.
Facts.
All right, Terry. Week 2 is in the books for the NFL. 2 nights ago, the Atlanta Falcons took down the Philadelphia Eagles on the last second of a crazy game. We're going to jump right into that. We're going to talk about our other notable games from week 2, teams we think that are legit, teams we may think are a little bit fraudulent. So with no further ado, Terry, let's rewind the clock back to Monday night. Did you watch?
Oh, yeah. Monday. That was Kirk Cousins. He's back. Captain Kirk. Now, I'll let you go first, man, because you love your boys. It's the Dirty Birds down there in Atlanta. You got the big jersey on right now. Clearly, you hate dogs. It's okay. No biggie. What'd you think about the Eagles, man? The Falcons and the Eagles game. What'd you think?
I can't believe that the Eagles managed to out-Falcon the Falcons. That was my main takeaway. This type of stuff only happens to us. It doesn't happen to other teams. We're never on the beneficiary end of a team inexplicably deciding to throw the ball on third down with a minute and a half left in the game when they could run the clock down to 30 seconds left. Their tush push was unstoppable all game.
Yeah.
Every short yardage situation, they got it. And on the biggest play of the game, instead of running the ball, getting 4th and 1 at worst, and then pushing it in on 4th down, they threw a little wheel pass to Saquon Barkley, who dropped it on the goal line, giving us enough time. Kirk Cousins, they gave him 90 seconds to go the length of the field.
They gave him a lot of time.
Apparently, it was 30 seconds too much as we bit, bop, boop, all the way down there. If you're watching the Peyton Manning cast, Matt Ryan was on there like, oh, hold up. We may be scoring too fast. Like, we might want to slow down and run the ball so we don't give them so much time.
Yeah, it was quick. But you didn't have any timeouts, though, so it was like you had to do what you had to do.
90 seconds, no timeouts. The Eagles are like, we're going to let you throw it to the sideline and get out of bounds for 4 30-yard passes.
That was – okay, let's just go ahead and start off with that. Or I'm going to skip the play call for right now, that kind of led them to that situation. Kirk obviously looked a lot better than week 1. But – God, the Eagles pass rush was absolute trash, bro. Like, that was insane. No pressure at all. Any quarterback in the league could have made, like, that comeback. That was easy. It was no pressure. He was sitting back there. It was like he was doing 7-on-7s. It was they didn't get any pressure on him at all. And the DBs couldn't cover it all either. I don't know what the hell that shit was. That was horrible defense. If the Eagles D is going to be like that all for the rest of the year, they're in trouble, bro. They are in trouble. If they get in those situations, it looks like the offense is going to have to carry them, bro, because that defense is – I mean, we knew they were bad last year, like the DBs and everything. And even when they went to the Super Bowl, I don't think the DBs were, like, fantastic. They just happened to, get a lot of pressure on a quarterback all year. But, man, that was sad, dog. You made Kirk – they made Kirk look like Tom Brady for a second. I know Kirk's got a lot of fourth-quarter comebacks and wins and everything, but – Jeez.
Most in the NFL behind Patrick Mahomes the last 3 years.
No, for sure.
So we may have been a little bit early writing his obituary. Talk about how he moved 46 yards total during week 1 and he can't move around. He didn't need to move around. He didn't have to move against the Eagles pass rush. He got to stand there like a statue and deliver the ball on time.
Jalen Carter, come on, bro.
They started picking on that Eagles rookie, Quinyon Mitchell.
He looks sad.
They've been hyping him up so much with the commentators and everything like that. That final drive, Kirk Cousins went at him every single play until they got down to the 9-yard line. Darnell Mooney, he kept taking the easy cheese with Darnell Mooney's inside moves. then Mooney will cut right back out to the sideline, catch a little pass,
Yep.
and step out for another 6 yards. And then we
Yep.
get down to the 9 yard line. And I actually, compared to week one, I really liked the play calling in week two for the Falcons. It
Yep.
was not nearly as predictable. Like I thought they used motions good. We kind of gained like leverage advantages by how we were moving guys.
Hmm.
And that Drake London touchdown starts off in a bunch set out in the right, and then they motion him from being like in the bunch in the slot all the way out wide. All game long, we run slants from that. He hits
Yep.
a little fake slant and runs a little fade to the back of the
Got Darius
pylon.
Slay. Yep. Slay, one of the better quarterbacks in the league. He got him with that one. Slay was like, "Oh, here's a slant. You've been studying film, but they got you on that one." Like
Yeah.
Cam said, "Oh, you've been studying film? Watch this."
Yeah.
Hit him with the little out. That was nice, man. Yeah, I don't know. After that game, the Falcons looked pretty good. And even like at the end, though, because I watched that. I watched how you guys kind of got down the field pretty easily. When the Eagles got the ball back, a little stunt play on your guys' end. I like that. Puts a little pressure on Jalen Hurts, and bada bing, bada boom. Hit, interception, game over. AJ Terrell played perfect coverage on Devontae. Devontae really couldn't get his route off. And then by the time he was cutting out to, get on the sideline, your boy Bates, who you just picked up, easy interception, game over. So, I mean, Eagles look bad. Falcons look okay. The ship is, let's get it back into calmer seas. We don't need to, talk about your boy Kirk anymore. Talk about Michael Penix Jr. coming into the scene. So I think the Falcons look okay. Because I think the Eagles are going to be decent. Like their defense, I think their defense is what it is. Like they've been like this for years, besides the getting pressure on the quarterback thing. But
Well, I
they're
tell you
not great.
what, that defense, you're going to be in trouble if you can't stop the run and you can't get pressure on the quarterback. You better pick one of the two to hang your hat on. And hopefully you
It's
can do
tough.
both of them. From the Eagles, we didn't see either one. The
Yeah,
Falcons, Bijan Robinson had like, what, 90 yards in the first half on the
I
ground.
think so.
We
Yeah. But
finished for
my thing
like
is though, so
175 on the game. He
how
averaged
do you
damn near 9 yards a carry. We just pounded it down their fucking throat. And it's like, hey, you're not going to stop the run. You're not going to make Kirk Cousins move off his spot. You're not going to cover anybody on the goal line.
so
What are you good at, Eagles
but
defense?
what was up with the execution though? Because you guys only scored, what was it, 22-21 was the score, right?
Yep. Yep.
I mean, how come you didn't get more? You worked like I saw most of the game. You're killing them. A couple third and fourth down plays and shit. I was just like, I don't actually. Did you guys go for a fourth down? I don't remember or not, but I know some of those third
Yeah,
down
we
plays.
went
I was
for it
like, come on, bro.
on fourth down, and CJ Gardner Johnson stuffed Bijan right in the hole on fourth
That's
and
when he took his
one.
helmet off. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, didn't
yeah,
get
yeah,
penalized. Yeah,
yeah. It looked
whatever.
like it fell off. It looked like it fell off.
Hey, as an aside on the refs,
Yeah,
that unsportsmanlike conduct penalty that they threw on Drake London for doing the sprinkler celebration
man,
to his
that was
to his own teammates on his own sideline, not near any Eagles players, and
no,
they
that was
they
insane.
they turn an extra point into a 48-yard field goal that Young Ku has to hit for 1 point to
Yeah,
take the lead in the game. So
no, that was
Tyreek
insane.
Hill can have his teammate lock him up in cuffs behind his back. Every single touchdown, we see a guy shooting arrows at people. We're watching
Yeah.
CD Lamb do a line of coke off his finger and point for a first down. But Drake London can't do a sprinkler at his own team.
Nah, man. No sprinkles, dog. No sprinkles at all. It is what it is. I mean, I didn't like that one. I didn't like the Jalen Hurts spike either when he got a first down and they called
Well,
a
I
unsportsmanlike. I mean,
I
I get it.
understand that, but it's like, come on, there's a reason you don't see anybody else in the NFL spiking the ball at first down.
He didn't. I mean, he just like he flexed and the ball dropped down.
No.
But look, I get it. The sprinkler was crazy. That's a side. That's a side. The game overall, are these going to be two playoff teams? Probably. But how the Saints are looking, I don't know. We can trust into that later. But you seem like you had a problem with that play call at the end from the Eagles.
Oh yeah.
The Saquon
And
Barkley, a little wheel route or whatever route you want to call that he dropped.
100%. I mean, this is Falcons football. What they did, where you have a bird in the hand, but you try to take five in the bush, and it's like,
Yeah.
why? We couldn't stop the run all game long. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? The
4 point, what was he
ESPN,
doing? Like 4.6 yards a carry for Saquon or something like that?
yeah, and
And
every
it was a
short
third
yardage
and
one they
3.
got it. Every single one they got it.
It was a 3rd and 3, and they were like, nah, let's not run this one. That'd be crazy.
You know what we should do? We should pass it to a player who's had 16 drops in his last 3 seasons, which is number one for the running
Yeah.
back position over that
Yeah.
time. And it's
Yeah.
like, I know everyone's like, oh, it was a good play call. He got open. The Falcons never thought they were going to throw it. That's because we're like, no way somebody would do something as stupid as we do it. The Eagles are a competent organization. Of course they're going to run the ball. And the next thing
Man.
you know, coming off Saquon's fingertips, his head in his hands, the clock stops, and we have 90
Yeah.
seconds for Kirk Cousins to march down the field and win the game. To answer your question earlier about why we didn't score more touchdowns, I
Yeah.
think Kirk Cousins was overthinking things. His eyes, he missed a bunch of like people way downfield where he didn't even look at them and they were
Yeah.
running wide open. Had a couple touchdown chances where he just missed the window and wasn't looking
Hmm.
there. And it just looked like he was kind of overthinking shit and not letting it rip. But when you only have 90 seconds left on the clock and you need a touchdown, it
You gotta
doesn't
go.
matter if you throw a pick.
Yeah.
Like there was no hesitancy, there was no
Yeah.
doubt. He got to just rip it. And I think
And
he
I
got
think
his
that's why he's
mojo
good.
back with that
Yeah.
last
Well,
the last minute.
I think that's why he has so many comebacks in the fourth quarters because, like, he overthinks a lot of throws. But at the end, I think he just blanks out. He's like, hey, man, I just got to go. I got to move. I got to throw. I got to move. You get out of your own head. But back to the play call. I The bigger problem for me, not the play call was kind of dumb. He dropped it. It is what it is. It looked like if he caught it, it looked like it was going to work. I don't have a problem with it per se,
Oh yeah, he was walking in.
but if you're automatically going to kick a field goal after that, then that's where I got a problem. Because
Yeah,
if you're going to go for it, then go for it. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, don't
Hmm.
do what you did and not go for it on the second. Like, if it's 4th and 3, instead of like, because on the other end, when the Falcons get the ball back down 6, it changes up your thinking. You think
Yeah.
only touchdown. If you go up 3, the Falcons maybe in their mind, they're like, okay, we don't have to score a touchdown. And they probably wouldn't have drove as easy as they did straight to a touchdown. They would have got to a certain point, kind of did some different play calls around like the 30 or 40 yard line on the other end and been like, all right, we can save, tie the game, kick a field goal, like we'll be good. You know, that's my only problem. Why kick the field goal immediately? Like I don't know.
I'm so with you, Terry. And actually,
Yeah.
like the analytics agree with you as well. I saw a post that like by far it was like overwhelming for them to go for it on
Go
fourth
for
down
it.
instead of kick the
Yeah.
field goal because exactly what you described. Now Kirk Cousins in his head, oh, we don't have to get all the way to the end zone. I don't have to do too much. I can't make a mistake here. All I have to do is get in field goal range.
Yeah.
And it totally changes his approach and his mentality of the situation. Whereas
Yeah.
2 minute drill for a touchdown, they've been working that all training camp. That's like
Hmm.
probably what they've had the most work in. He's most comfortable in. You saw
Yeah.
during times in the game, they'd get a first down and they'd say, hey, we're going tempo right now because Kirk
Yeah.
Cousins is more comfortable in tempo.
Yeah.
So to kind of set it up on a platter for us, like I couldn't believe it was happening. They cracked the door open and we kicked it down.
Man.
And
I
then
mean,
I
like,
gotta say, the Eagles, they got the ball back. All they needed is a field goal to win. They had like 35 seconds and 2 timeouts, and all they had to go was 30 yards. And they got like,
it was horrible.
yeah,
Yeah.
they got
Because
like
like,
15 of them on the first play. They just
yeah,
needed 15 more yards with 2 timeouts and 30 seconds
it was
to get in
horrible.
field goal range. And then, Jalen Hurts throws it up for Jesse Bates to go win the game.
I mean, he got hit while he threw, which is
Take
it's
notes,
it's a
Eagles. It's called pass rush.
no, that's facts. But like, I mean, shit, man, at that point, the Falcons had drove down the field so easy. I was like, well, shit, I guess the Eagles are about to do it just as easy. Like, that was insane. It was so insanely easy. I was like, well, the Eagles are about to do the same thing. You start from the 30 because these special teams guys are scared, man. I'm kicking that shit in the landing zone, and you're going to take it way before the 30. Like, that's fucking ridiculous that they keep doing that every single time. But, yeah, I don't know. I didn't like what I saw from the Eagles. And I'd like to say one more thing about Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
And you said when we were talking about like before week 1, just like which Super Bowl was under the most, or which Super Bowl, which quarterback was under the most arrest, and you think they get benched? I think the Eagles need to start looking at a new QB, bro. Straight up.
Ooh.
He looked great running the ball, but you got AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, bro. Give me a gunslinger, dog. Give me a quarterback that can slang it, dude, because this is ridiculous. I need to see 4,500 passing yards, 35 touchdown passes. He's not doing it for me, bro. It's
And
starting to piss me off. I'm not gonna lie. His arm isn't strong. Every throw is always some lofted bullshit that can always be picked at any moment's notice. I'm not in love with it, man. He needs to show me more. And look, I love a dual threat. His legs look great. He looks healthy. But if that passing doesn't get, AJ Brown and Devontae might start to get a little, what's going on?
yeah,
AJ was hurt yesterday or the last game, but still, like, come on, bro. I need something.
I maybe I'm not as far as you, but like I'm almost there because when in the second half when we took away his legs and we were like, you're gonna sit in the pocket and play quarterback. And if
Yeah.
you're gonna beat us, it's gonna be by playing quarterback, not by
Mm-hmm.
getting out of schedule and scrambling all over. He struggled.
Spy. Yeah.
He struggled. There's no doubt about it. And their offense went down to tubes and they became a lot more predictable. So it's something that he definitely has to improve and clean up going forward. But for the Atlanta Falcons, I can't understate what a big win this was. Perhaps a season-saving win.
Yeah.
The Kansas, we're going to the Kansas City Chiefs in Arrowhead Stadium next week.
That's probably a loss.
The NFC South, we thought it was like really terrible. Actually, the Saints are 2-0, the Bucs are 2-0.
Saints look good, yeah.
Yeah, and if we came into the season down 0-3, you kind of think that's the wrap for the year.
It's over. See, 0-2 is pretty much already over. Only 3 teams have made the playoffs.
The Bengals and the Bengals.
It's like the Bengals and a couple other teams, but like 0-2 is damn near impossible. 0-3 is completely. I'm sure that's impossible. I don't think anybody's ever done it after 0-3, but yeah, man. Good win.
Not a stretch to say we saved the season.
Yeah, you definitely did. Want to keep moving in the South?
Yeah, let's stay with the New Orleans Saints. The offensive juggernaut that nobody saw coming.
Shout out to Alvin Kamara. Drafted him multiple years in fantasy, and this is the year he wants to go cook, huh? I like that.
They said last year that his left leg weighed 8 more pounds than his right leg.
Man, ain't nobody trying to hear that shit.
During his offseason, he corrected it within 2 pounds, so they're almost weighing even. The results of the symmetry are undeniable.
So what? It was just last year that his leg was like that? Not any other years before?
I think it was, remember when he got hurt? I think like his rehab, he overdid the side that he hurt.
Ah, okay. I can see
what I mean?
Damn, that sucks. That's insane. Yeah, he looks fantastic. I'm not gonna lie. Bro looks fantastic. If he might be one. Him and Christian McCaffrey, I didn't see much of a difference when Kamara's on his game. I'm like, this dude is really, really, really good. So if he's healthy, that helps Derek Carr out a lot, like so much. Like it's insane.
100%. What also helped him, yeah. Well, let's talk about Kubiak because I thought he had a good formula. Obviously their offense is going off. They scored touchdowns on their first 6 possessions of the game. Like game unbelievable. 5 of those
Dallas,
6,
right?
Yeah, and 5 of those 6 starting drives went at least 70 yards, and they scored touchdowns. Just marched right down the field.
Olave.
They first in offensive success rate, expected points per drive, a league high 11 touchdowns. No other team has more than 7. And it's just like he kept it real simple. Let's get Derek Carr under center. Let's run the hell out of football, and let's slang these play action passes downhill. And their play action, it's like every single time they fake it, Rashid Shaheed is running 40 yards downfield, and nobody can catch him.
Yep. Nah, they look awesome, dude. And the Cowboys, man, oh my God. How the mighty have fallen.
Mike Zimmer.
Brother, we didn't talk about Dak much coming into the preseason and coming into the actual full season, but I think I would have let him go. I ain't even gonna lie. I'd rather let him go for nothing
than pay him $60 million.
He's not the best quarterback in the game. I can't pay you the most ever if you're not the best, dude. Like, it's the same thing as like.
And you've never been remotely in the conversation to be the best.
And what is he in the playoffs?
At any point.
He's like 2-3 in the playoffs or something like that. So I can't do it, bro. I can't do it. I either have to trade you or it's gotta be. I don't know if football does sign and trade like basketball does, but there's no
Yeah.
way I'm giving you more. Dak Prescott. I want every single person to get their money, but if I was running the organization, I can't allow myself to overpay, especially that position by that much. I'd rather just take my chances with Trey Lance. It's like, look, I get it, everybody wants to win and shit, but nah, that's too much money. That hinders you like going down the line because you got to pay Micah Parsons coming up soon. You already paid CeeDee Lamb. I'm sure the cap hit from Dak Prescott's about to be like 70 something million dollars. Like it's Dak Prescott. I kept saying it last year. If he's top 10, then we got a quarterback problem in the NFL. And it seems like we do because last week all the quarterbacks were garbage. This week, eh.
All of them were garbage except for Geno Smith and Derek Carr.
Yeah, I mean, even Mahomes threw two interceptions. And Lamar looked bad too. Josh Allen looked okay. He looked okay.
We'll get to Lamar later.
Yeah, ugh, bro. Cowboys look horrible. Saints, shout out to Saints. You and the Saints, the Falcons and the Saints. They
And
might
the
be a little
Bucks.
closer.
And the Bucks, who have like
Baker.
the second best offense right now in the NFL.
Baker's back, baby. Baker was good at the end of last year too, though. So I think
Yeah.
people are kind of forgetting about that. So it might be a bigger competition.
Are you buying the New Orleans Saints?
They got to give me at least another. I would say I need 2 more weeks. And if the offense looks how it looks, though, continuously, you're going to be looking at a juggernaut, bro. I'm not going to lie. Because week 1 was 47. This week was 44.
We're not looking at no juggernaut. These Saints are fugazi. They're fugazi.
Yeah, I think we both agree. They need at least another.
This New Orleans Saints team, it reminds me of the Falcons the first year we got Kyle Shanahan when we still had Roddy White. And it was like we went 5-0 the first 5 games. The new offense was clicking on all cylinders. And then the league figured it out. And they're like, oh, they're doing these 4 things really well. We're going to take away 2 of them. And the wheels fell off.
You still should have fired Kyle Shanahan, but you know.
Well, he got hired away from us to be the head coach. We didn't fire him, but yeah.
Gotcha.
One thing I will say, the Saints are not going to play the 2 worst run defenses in the NFL for the rest of the year, like they have so far.
Cowboys do. What the hell?
They haven't had to pass protect at all, and their line has like a bunch of young players and rookies and new moving parts on it. I got some stats for you, Terry. Derek Carr has taken just 16 true dropbacks this season, which means not a play action pass or a screen. So he has like 3 times the amount of play action passes as everybody else. Every other quarterback starting in the NFL has at least had 33 true dropbacks, and most of them have had 48, except for 2 players. So the average quarterback is throwing the ball 3 times more than Derek Carr is without play action and screens. We haven't seen Derek Carr have to do that stuff at all.
Yeah.
When other teams are stopping a run and the play action ain't hitting like that, and they see this predictable screen game coming, and Derek Carr has to do what quarterbacks have to do and take 7 drops and navigate the pocket and progress through his reads, we're going to see the New Orleans Saints come right back down to town.
Yeah, we'll see Derek Carr come back to what he usually is. That's what I said, man. It's not even 1 more week. I need 2 more weeks. If they're good for 2 more weeks, all right. Saints are good. But I need 2 more. Same with the Bucks, too. I'm not even going to lie. We don't need to go, too deep into either one of them, but I need to give me 2 more weeks before I give them a nice evaluation of what I think they are. Because
I need 5 more weeks.
At this point, I think the Falcons are still the favorites for me. But a lot of people, if you were listening to your boy Bill Simmons, that over-under total wins for the NFC South might be in jeopardy.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was really low. It was like 31.5 or something like that. I was like, ooh.
Yeah. I think he said taking the under if it's 29 or less. And I was like, oh, man. The Panthers, what are they going to go 0-25? Like,
they might. Oh shit!
Terry,
should we go ahead and talk about that?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's stay in the NFC South. The Panthers, Bryce Young era is over in Carolina. It was a nice 1 year and 2 weeks stretch, but they have benched him for Andy Dalton. And Terry, when you have a guy as talented as Andy Dalton on your bench, it's impossible to keep him there for long.
Oh God, dude. So let me get this straight. I just want to start off with this. Can we just start from the beginning? He gets drafted number one. The Panthers, I believe, traded to get to that number one spot, right? When they got the new owner,
Yeah, they
Mr.
traded
Tepper.
you the number one pick from this year's draft,
So
and DJ Moore, who is the best player on their team.
so you give away the best receiver on their team. You give away the eventual first round pick, the first draft pick, too, not just the first round. It was the first draft pick of the draft. You give that away. You draft Bryce Young. You barely play him in the preseason this year. You throw him to the Wolves last year, totally fine. Like, it is what it is. Your team was going to suck. I don't think any quarterback in that situation would have done well. Throw it to the Wolves. Your O-line is trash. The next year, your dumbass owner does it again. Trades and does a bunch of dumb shit, drafts a receiver from South Carolina. Legit. Everybody loves him. All I get my horses and I drive, move them and I whip them. I got me old quarter horse named Juki, and Juki really moves for me a lot. Everybody loves that guy. I love him too. Great dude. Wasn't the best receiver in the draft. Doesn't matter. Preseason comes. He plays one series instead of playing in multiple preseason games to get him ready because you fired your coach from last year. So you have a whole new offensive coordinator. I mean, you got a whole new head coach. You need to revamp the offense. You should let him play in all the preseason games. You play him in one series versus the Buffalo Bills at the end. Mind you, 8 of the dudes of the 11 guys that are on the field for the Buffalo Bills, 8 of them aren't on the team. And that's who he scored a touchdown on. And everybody's like, oh, man, Bryce is going to be good. Why didn't you play him then? Now you want to bench him after 2 weeks? This is ridiculous. No quarterback could have survived this. I'm so sorry, Bryce. Regardless if we think you're good or not, the Panthers let you down, dude. They let you completely down. And it's unfortunate, but he might go down as one of the worst quarterbacks of all time. I don't think he was that bad last year because, like, we look at it, Tom Brady only scored 14 points when he was getting his ass rushed off in a Super Bowl versus the Giants. I think the second time when the Giants were rushing the shit out of him again, he might have scored like, I think 17 or 20 when the Giants beat them again. Mahomes couldn't score versus the Bucks when they were rushing him completely out of his, like, he couldn't even stand in the pocket. He was throwing the ball like Superman horizontal to the ground. No one is going to be good in this situation, but they handled this like, I mean, this dude Tepper, bro. Calm down. I get you
Hey,
about the Panthers, but Jesus Christ, you're letting Bryce Young just go down sad. This
and
is
that
sad, bro.
and that's the number one problem with the Panthers. It's David Tepper. It's the
Yeah,
owner. A
for
fish
sure.
rots from the head down. And this guy, you know that he's the reason why they benched Bryce Young because they asked the coach right after the game on Sunday
Mm,
if he was going to bench Bryce Young, and he just straight up said no. He's our
yep,
quarterback. And then the next day on Monday, he
yep,
announces that he's benching Bryce Young, and they asked him, "Did this come from the owner?" And he declined to answer the question. So there's the answer for you right there. That
yep.
David Tepper interceded and said, "I need to see wins." Blah 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 blah. He's not getting
Mm.
it done. What the fuck are you trying to win games for? What are you gonna do?
You got to
What
improve
is
the
this
team,
team gonna
man.
do with Andy Dalton? Are they going to the Super Bowl now?
Yeah,
This is the
clearly this
same guy
guy.
that when it saw a sign for a restaurant on the street, stopped off, ripped off the manager's hat and yelled in his face. He threw his drink on a Jaguars fan on the last game of the season last year.
Hmm.
And and now he's telling his coach to start the backup quarterback in week 3. This is a franchise that is in disarray. I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. If your idea of building a team is trading Brian Burns, your best player on defense, letting go of Jeremy Chin and Frankie Louvu, your 2 other best players on defense, getting
Yep,
rid of DJ Moore and putting him as a throw-in a trade for Bryce Young,
yep.
drafting a 175-pound quarterback whose NFL comp on the draft was Steph Curry, and then surrounding him with nothing. Nothing. And here we are, man. It's a dark time here in Charlotte. It's not getting better anytime soon. The season is
Yeah,
already lost, given up for, gone. But you
it's
know
done.
what? In the words of Coach Dave Canales, we owe it to the team to play Andy Dalton.
Oh man. Yeah, it's They're going outside, bro. It's just like, just let the people that you hire do their jobs, man. Stop trying to, take control of the team.
Yep.
Just let them do their jobs, you know?
And when you get these young quarterbacks, you got to like put them in a situation where they're not going to have to run for their life and have no one to throw to. Like over there in Chicago, Terry, you have a promising number one overall quarterback. You surrounded him with weapons, but I will say I'm a little concerned about that offensive line so far, man.
Makeshift.
Yeah, it's starting to look a little Jay Cutlery, a little Jay Cutlery back there.
Nah, we haven't had an
The
O-line in
Bears
a
have
while.
scored one touchdown on 22 possessions.
Yep.
They've had 3 plays of 20 plus yards this season. Only the Patriots have fewer. The offensive line could be the worst in the NFL. Caleb Williams has been pressured on 43% of his dropbacks, the highest rate of any starter in the league, and no
Mm-hmm.
quarterback has taken more sacks than him. He's got weapons on the outside. He's got a fantastic wide receiving trio. The running back position looks just fine. But if they can't get that offensive line going and they can't protect him, I'm concerned for your boy Caleb Williams.
Oh, we're fucked. I don't like I told you this. And then I just want to give this to the people that the sports analysts that think they're fucking geniuses by, trying to say that the Bears are gonna make it to the Super Bowl and shit like
Oh,
this.
not
You
the
did
Super Bowl.
no,
Not the Super Bowl.
no.
Wild card.
I'm talking Super Bowl expectations. I get your hot takes got to come out. I can understand that. But look at the history of the Chicago Bears and their offense, dog. Our best quarterback was Jay Cutler. You can say Jim McMahon all you want. We made the Super Bowl with that team. The best defensive team, the 85 Bears, okay? Anybody could have been on the offensive end. We could have had a high school offense. We would have been fine. They gave the ball to a fat man. Shout out Big Refrigerator Barry. But, he was like a star on the offensive end. Anyways, beside the point. They're letting my boy Caleb down. It's not a complete Carolina Panthers,
But
debacle.
it's a half Panther. It's a half Panther.
Ah, man, I tried to tell people, man, we need to calm down. I love Caleb, but he's
Do you
not
think he should start taking his snaps backpedaling? Do you think that's the solution?
Jay Cutler. Nah, dude, it's just on the GM. You got to fix this shit. I get the shiny toys and everything, but you know where the game starts. The big
Up
fellas.
front. Up
The
front.
trenches, man. That's where it starts.
Yeah.
So we once we get that fixed, I think we'll be okay. But
Yeah.
also, Caleb, you gotta help yourself out, man. You gotta help yourself out a little bit. Just a slight bit. I'm not it's most 80% of it is on the O-line, but 20% of it is you. Joe Burrow has had really bad offensive lines as well, but he has a really high football IQ. Okay. Caleb, I need you to process some shit a little faster. I know it's tough to ask, but a little bit more processing time. And the coaches, everybody needs to be in line. You know what you have. You have really good receivers on the outside, yes, but got to drop some different plays. Quicker plays, more shotgun looks, maybe. Caleb's kind of short, O-line's tall. Something's got to change. Before I get completely pissed the fuck off, something's got to change. Because I never believed in Mitchell Trubisky, but he never had a chance with that O-line. I slightly believed in Justin Fields. O-line let me down again. Third time can't be the charm. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on me. I can't get fooled 3 times or I'm fucking going down to Chicago and starting a goddamn war. Like, come on, bro.
Well, like you said, man, it all starts with up front. It all starts with up front. And that's why the Steelers are 2-0. They're running the ball, like their hair's on fire. The defensive line, the defense in general is just probably the best in the NFL by far. And they've done all this despite not really running it great on first down. Like they've run it good on second and third down, but they're 31st in success rate on first down run plays. They got 3 plays of 20 plus yards, which is 1 ahead of the Bears. But they haven't turned the ball over. And
that's
Justin
the main
Fields,
thing.
He's playing within himself. He hasn't fumbled it. He hasn't thrown 8 picks, but he's still the guy who committed 41 turnovers in the last 2 years. Baltimore and Cincy, both 0-2. I'm not sure one of them doesn't pass the Steelers and win this division. But let's talk about this division, Terry, because Zoom just sent me an alert that we have 2 minutes left. I called his division.
What happened? We can't do whatever we want anymore?
I guess not.
What's going on?
I call this division panic at the AFC North because the worst team is 2-0, the Steelers. The Bengals are 0-2. The Ravens are 0-2.
Yep. Surprising.
Both teams play each other in week 5, and it seems like the loser of that game is going to be eliminated from the playoffs this early on. Who do you think you're more encouraged for? Who do you think has a better chance of making the playoffs? The Ravens?
The Ravens. Yeah, Ravens for sure. It's not even that's not a tough question to answer. The Ravens looked absolutely fantastic versus the Chiefs week 1. They just happened to lose. The Chiefs they won the week 2. They didn't look great, but they still got the win versus the Bengals. Bengals showed me a bit of promise from that week 1 performance versus the Patriots because the Patriots are supposed to be one of the worst teams.
I feel like the Bengals looked better than the Ravens did against the Chiefs. They should have beat the fucking Chiefs if it weren't for that dumbass PI.
I think both of them should have, but at the end of the day, one team played the Patriots and scored 10 points. One team played – who did they play? Did they lose to this week 2? Lions? I can't remember who it was. The Ravens.
I don't remember, but
I'm gonna go peep.
Week 5, we're gonna find out who makes the playoffs. For the Ravens, Lamar's a passer, is not lighting it up. The offensive line doesn't look great. They got shredded by Chris Jones and Max Crosby in back-to-back weeks. And we have 10 seconds left. Guys, thank you so much for joining us on the Habitual Line Steppers podcast.
We got to start another one, or are we done?
I think you only get like an hour per day, dog.
What?
Yeah. Hey, appreciate you guys. North Carolina, continue to stand up.
Peace.
Thank you for listening to our podcast this evening. Thank you. You're far too kind.